game, set, match. As the Celtics and Heat played a best of 7, and it went 7. To which I will say there's a few players I want to shout out for both teams. The list for the Celtics is a little longer. Maybe that's me being a little biased, but I will say the reason why. For the Heat, it's Jimmy Butler. Obvious. Also, Bam Adebayo and Max Strus. Okay? For the Celtics, it's Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Robert Williams. The reason why I specified those players for both teams, Tatum had a good game, Brown had a good game in Game 5, where Tatum didn't look like he had it. Brown ended up showing up, and then in Game 6 had a good game, just didn't do enough to win. Marcus Smart is the heartbeat of this team. That's 100% understandable. He's a heartbeat of this team. When he's on the court, people look at him, people watch him, people look and see, hey, this guy, he wants to play. He on a bad ankle, he'll play. Derek White had an absolute great series. A guy came in, got traded to Boston, and in a span of about 10 days had a kid, and then had the series of his life. He was great in Game 6. Boston didn't win. In Game 7, he hit some clutch threes, and Boston found a way to win. And finally, Robert Williams. When Robert Williams was on the court, Bam Adebayo did not look good. He struggled. When Robert Williams wasn't on the court, Bam Adebayo looked like that guy in the 2020 bubble. Just to say. Now, Game 4, Boston played well. They won. After losing in Game 3, they found a way to win in Boston. In Game 5, as I mentioned, Jaylen Brown had a great game. Played well. Tatum didn't look like he had it. Brown played well enough. And Boston won pretty easily. Game 6, for the Celtics, you turned the ball over too much. And you fouled too much. That gave Butler, who had a great game, 47 points in Game 1 and 2. Preferably in Game 1. Butler had 41. Now he had 47. Jimmy Butler was playing out of his mind. But Robert Williams is huge in these situations. When he was on the court, it was hard for anyone to beat him. Max Strus hit some great threes in Game 6 to give the Heat the lead. Missed 14 in a row. Got it going. Played well. But if we get to Game 7, I think what happened in Game 7 was Boston came out aggressive in every quarter. First quarter, they were great in transition. Second quarter, they weren't as good. They didn't have any points in transition. But they kept their lead. No matter how marginal it got, they found a way to play. But in Game 7, and I have a problem with this, and this is put on Kyle Lowry, who should be on this list, but I'll give you the reason why he is not. Kyle Lowry played a good Game 6. No one can dispute that. And when he came back in Game 3, no one can dispute that either. But in Games 4, 5, he didn't play well. And in Game 7, he didn't play well, particularly. Heat challenged a blocking foul that Lowry was a part of. It was reversed, but they still lost their timeout and their challenge. on the possession for the Heat, the next possession, the same possession, the Heat got the ball back, they're dribbling up court, Adebayo hits a screen, and Lowry tries to get around it, and ends up falling. He takes his timeout. So that's 2 timeouts on the same possession. That can't happen. So the Heat end up with 1 timeout. Jimmy Butler's trying to hit the tying 3, the leading 3, the first time they would ever lead in the game, and he missed it. Probably if they have a timeout, they don't. If they have a timeout, I don't think they use it, but 2 timeouts is different than 1 timeout. And in the final seconds, when they did take the timeout, after the free throws by Marcus Smart, which were clutch free throws, they didn't look good enough. Strus had 2 chances at 3-pointers, missed them both. Horford gets the rebound. Game over. Which, congrats to Al Horford, who is going to his first finals appearance at age 35, and to Jason Tatum, who won the Larry Bird Trophy, which is what the trophy is called now. On the western side, it's the Magic Johnson Trophy. On the eastern side, it's Larry Bird. But a great job by Jason Tatum and the Celtics to find a way just to squeak by the Heat with a score of 100 to 96.